What's up guys, Kevin Cage here, back with another XRP update. Let's shoot for 1,000 likes in this one. Today, I want to do my best to address our favorite three-letter word, not XRP. This is FUD. F-U-D is the acronym, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Now, first off, apologies to anybody that feels that I may be a little aggressive in this one. I just want to vent because I've been seeing so much negativity on Twitter. I get so many emails and DMs questioning their investment, and they're terrified whenever they see a single piece of news. We've been in this game for years. You did not come this far to just come this far. Understand that fear, this manipulation, sleight of hand for that matter, has existed in every market for hundreds of years. If you do a little research and look at the Rothschilds, the family, and look how they acquired their wealth. Look at modern day George Soros. Look at entities like Goldman Sachs. Look at even Jamie Dimon with the whole Bitcoin narrative. We've seen this time and time again. If anything, FUD makes me more bullish long term and basically reassures me that the asset that I hold is valuable to somebody else to want to propagate such negativity to shake people out. Stay confident and stick to the fundamentals of a project. You guys understand where this is going, or you can just look at the chart and be reassured and understand long term this looks phenomenal. You guys can lay Fibonacci retracements, whatever you want. This market is going to eat all other asset classes. It is literally going to be able to process it all. So stay confident. All right. I guarantee. So really quick, I want to show you these where we were in March and how far we've come. So let's just show you how far we've come, and people are still terrified. Let's go from the bottom of that where we did wick to 11 cents. I'm going to sloppily do that to the 92 cents on Coinbase. That is almost 700% within a single year. Now, could we revisit these low levels again? Until utility scales, anything's possible. I will not turn my back on any possibility. What I'm saying is, when XRP goes past all-time high, past $3, $4, past $10, there's still going to be FUD in the market every single time. And understand, when we were at these levels, and I just have some horizontal lines so you can see, this is on a daily. We see wicks. We're in these levels for, what, 1 to 2 weeks? Let me just measure this really quick so you guys can understand. And a lot of us, probably I'd say 80% of you were here with me, witnessing this. So we're looking at maybe a good 12 days around these levels where candles actually closed under these levels. Now, during this time, everybody was depressed. Do you want to know what I thought? I had no doubt in this asset class. I didn't spend several years researching for fun just to make it this far. My only regret was that I didn't buy more. And at the same time, I was getting so many emails. I was getting so many dislikes on every YouTube video because they didn't think that the fundamentals stacked up because they're distracted. And I can't blame anybody because that is psychology. It works on me with other assets too. But this is why. When in doubt, zoom out. Look at the connections. Look at the tokenomics. So also, a little fun fact. If you guys remember that whole FUD campaign that occurred, what was it? Was that November or October? It was a gentleman on Twitter, I know a bunch of people addressed it, basically saying and announcing that he sold thousands of dollars, all his XRP. He doesn't believe it anymore. He sold it for another crypto or whatever because he said that XRP's tokenomics and the use case was all a lie. Everybody, we were all tricked. We're stupid for believing that. And XRP is nothing more than a gas token to essentially make Ripple rich. Now, I've seen this FUD for years. We've seen it time and time again, and it was so frustrating. Do you know how many emails I got of people saying, "Hey Kevin, did you see this? Are you sure you're right? Are you sure that we're right?" Or it was just absolutely ridiculous. If one piece of news chases you out of this market, you're not going to last that long. And I say that with love and empathy, but honestly, and this is where I'm trying to say this politely, but I do mean this. The FUD in this market, even with this, snapshot occurring and people not trusting it, the XRP ledger is public. I don't know what's to fear. As long as you have your private keys, you're good to go. Be aware of malware, avoid key logging, all of this. But essentially, I'm participating in this ecosystem and I am supporting Flare any way I can because I believe in XRP. And I believe that with smart contract capability and Avalanche consensus, anything is possible. And also, this gentleman with that FUD campaign, before I forget, it was in this period. He chased people out. Some people sold their bags. And guess what happened shortly after that? We went up, and let's just do a ruler tool from even here to even the candle, a good 200% alone. This happens time and time again, people. Do not be fooled. Stay strong, all right? This whole game is rampant with manipulation. And sometimes it's even manipulation upwards. It's not always down. This whole market is rampant with manipulation until utility grows. Now, I want to emphasize this as well. So just to repeat, we watched XRP dump under 15 cents in March, and we wick over 90 cents this year. Hundreds of percent returns already, 700%. We witnessed, and of course it retraced, which is natural. And we're still afraid. I don't even comprehend that. I'm still getting fearful, questions asking me if I trust Flare and all this. And guys, please understand this. Volatility, price movement, huge price fluctuations. This is an inherent part of every nascent market, every young market with upside potential. Eventually, as the price of XRP rises and increases to $1 to $3 to $5, etc., from utility growing, which means volume is increasing of the users on ODL, transaction sizes can increase as well. And as liquidity increases, transaction sizes can increase as well. And when all of that increases with price, volatility ideally should decrease, which is good. So we're going to have higher prices, but eventually they'll be more stable. That is the idea. And you know what will be consistent through all of that? The FUD. The FUD will stay the same. While everything else increases and decreases, the FUD will always be there. Imagine having more FUD and people giving up on their investment. We're at $10, $50, $100. I guarantee that we're going to see that day, and I'm going to be laughing so hard. Maybe the FUD works on the newcomers, but hopefully, we earned our place here. So if you do not have the stones to be in crypto and witness, going 90% down for a year or 2 years before getting a 30,000% return, you might want to get out because you're not going to last long. And that's just the honest truth. All right. So we're going to have FUD at these prices. I promise you that. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree with that sentiment. Whether markets go up, whether markets go down, FUD is here. However, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, is most effective when, newcomers see the price actually going down when it's timed well with the market. That way, when the FUD's timing with the market going down, people actually think they're correlated and it works, and it does shake people out, meaning they give up on their investment, they sell at a loss, and they think that it's not going to recover. Do not be fooled. So instead of FOMO, where, essentially this type of FUD thing, it creates the opposite reaction and shakes you out of the market entirely. So that's my little rant for today. Now I want to get into some additional news, but hopefully that hits home for some of you. I'm sure some of you agree, some of you probably don't like me. That's all good, all right? I just wanted to get that off my chest. Right here. So we have Mr. BXRP going over this. Not claiming your Spark tokens because you don't want the tax liability is like you saying you never want to win the lottery or hit the lottery because of the tax liability. You only pay taxes when you make money, so it's good to pay taxes. Better to give up 30% plus or minus and then get 70% later. That's what I don't get. Like, I shared some trades in the past and it's like, oh yeah, 10K profit, $30,000 profit. People are like, you have to pay taxes. That's literally what every single business does. Like, the same goes for trading short-term bags, guys. I'd rather make money and pay taxes than not do anything at all. And I just don't understand the majority of people or the comments I see. And even Josh Cruz, hopefully I'm pronouncing your last name right, he goes on to say 70% of something is better than 0% of nothing. Absolutely. All right. Also, guys, take advantage of the promo going on. Links are in the video description. You can get a Ledger Nano X, which is obviously my favorite because you can, download many, many types of cryptos and get a $25 voucher to use when buying crypto on Ledger Live. Awesome. And so links are in the video description. Now let's talk about some RippleNet developments. Right here, guys, shared by Roth Economin, Ripple partner, as we know, Asimo and dLocal. So remember, dLocal, huge integrations to Alipay in China, but also expanding throughout Latin America, if we remember correctly as well. And I've saw many people discuss this, including Crypto Eddie, saying, remember, Ripple and their employees said that Brazil was a central part of their on-demand liquidity plans, or strategy, I should say. And I'll have to find that exact video clip to share with you guys again. I know it's on one of my older ones. Now, working together for transfers to most banks in Colombia from EU and Australia. Given the transaction time, it isn't clear XRP is involved yet. However, we're paying attention to RippleNet partners scaling further than ever and additional partnerships. They say Venezuela is a key driver, with those abroad preferring to send to Colombia instead. A few things. As geopolitics continue to reshape the global economy, money transfer services like Asimo need to be as flexible as their customers. That means faster, cheaper services that work irrespective of national borders. Again, a borderless economy. We understand Brazil, one of the BRICS nations, the Brazilian real will be a massive, massive on-demand liquidity corridor in the future. I know we've gone over the stats of, the mobile banks, the actual amount of users in that ecosystem. It is one of the biggest performers, and we have a Ripple office in Brazil, and we were meeting with the central bank this summer, and that was, disclosed by accident. And I know we all got excited about that, but you should not be surprised. You know how deep this rabbit hole goes. This is here to change international cross-border transfers as we know, and this has been planned all along, in my opinion. And that is not financial advice. I encourage you guys to question everything I say to you and double check it. Call me out if I'm wrong. All right. So right here, VP of Sales for DLocal, and of course they are heavy into not only China, Latin America, and also I believe we're seeing them expand also throughout Africa. So we're thrilled to be partnering with Azimo to speed up, expand their remittance services across the globe, starting with Colombia. The need for fast and cost-efficient remittance services is critical regardless of geography, and we look forward to growing our partnership with Azimo to help them further their goal of creating a better way to share money around the world. I encourage all of you, if you have not done so already, to go to Ripple Insights, the website, and read about Azimo. Right here, according to the World Bank data, Colombia received a record $6.8 billion in remittances in 2019, roughly 2% of the country's GDP. This demonstrates the huge impact that Latin American immigrants in the European nations make to the economy of their country of origin. And then one last thing to touch on right here, while remittance levels have fallen as a result of COVID, interesting, they are actually showing greater resilience than expected. Also reminds me of the resiliency of XRP that we saw in March. Again, watching these cryptos crash, even the Dow Jones take a little flash dump and recovering and developing this liquidity and bouncing back. This is showing maturity of the markets. Now, any prices can happen for that matter, up, down. It will not faze me. I am waiting for utility to be a growing driver instead of, I'd say 95% speculation, 5% utility. I'm waiting for those numbers to get more even for the real fun in price action to begin. That way, the higher prices that we witness, whenever you decide to take profit or reward yourself, those prices are going to be a lot more sustainable and steady. Right here, especially in some emerging market countries, liquid corridors, etc., the World Bank estimated a 14% decline in global remittances by 2021 amid the pandemic. However, remittances in Mexico, where we just talked about Bitso guys, and they're aiming for 20% of the entire corridor between the US dollar and Mexican peso, surged 9.4% in the first 8 months of the year. And we saw in that first week of February this year, they used $54 million of XRP for transfers between this corridor alone. Can you guys do some multiplication and imagine the combinations between other currencies, direct pairs? It's exciting. That is why I'm excited. All right. So we can see Azimo, one of the first few European fintech companies to reach profitability, expanding global reach, more than 200 countries for more than 25 countries across Europe. We see the goals, we see what's happening. The service also launched in Australia in November of this year. Now, something that this reminds me of course, is because we're wondering about on-demand liquidity, new corridors, new use cases. When are other groups going to go live besides just RippleNet users? Well, do you remember this interview with Adam Trademan and Tony from Thinking Crypto's YouTube channel? They had a great interview, and I believe this was in June 22nd, 2020. Now, yes, I'm bringing up old news because we could be expecting something big in the future, and I apologize if there was just announced today SBI Ripple Asia going live with XRP. I have not heard anything, and I was trying to research it earlier. So if so, and that already was released, awesome, but I'm still speculating on it for the time being. So we can see in an interview, we have SBI Ripple Asia Chief Executive Adam Trademan, and he's also obviously CEO of Bread, a BRD wallet, and says the company is currently testing the product as it works to roll out the platform in a matter of months. And he's, a big XRP advocate. He says that Katal of SBI has massive plans, as we've heard. Please, I don't know why people dispute that SBI, isn't building for XRP. They are probably one of the, biggest builders for the XRP ecosystem, arguably. So I don't really know what to say to you. ODL is a solution that changes the fundamental layers of the banking system and how money is moved. And again, ODL is XRP. The software that utilizes it. That technology is super exciting. It's just rolling out now. For SBI Ripple Asia, we have limited trial and pilot projects going on right now with the various companies in our territories, and they're going great. Now, this is the part I love. I expect that probably later this year and into next year, things are going to move into widespread production. Widespread is the key word I like, and I expect remittance companies that were restricted in growth because of pre-funding requirements to have a lot more flexibility. ODL is designed to give banks, blah, 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 blah. So essentially, they're looking to leverage it, and right here, there are customers of SBI Ripple Asia that are starting to leverage ODL for Ripple. So I'm very excited, and of course, if you watch the actual video interview, if you guys have not done so already, Adam's a bright guy, really cool dude, and I'm truly curious if they will be going live in the coming months. Because of course, now between end of year is kind of tight. So let's just be conservative. Bottom line is this: there's interest. There's no other use case or technology that can do everything XRP can do that includes pre-funding, avoids counterparty risk, has, organic liquidity to an extent, a finite supply. It's relatively decentralized with 150 plus validators, and it's getting more decentralized over time. It's a top-down approach like the internet. I'm here for an ROI, so I don't care if you think it's centralized or decentralized. I'm here for profit long term. So teach their own, but I just wanted to share that. Let's see, probably later this year, ODL, blah, 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 blah. And also, guys, so I'm sure you've seen this, $100 million worth of Bitcoin bought by US giant Mass Mutual Insurance Company. Now, I'm always skeptical and weary whenever we see all of these bullish announcements and everyone thinks that the fund's never going to stop and Bitcoin's going to go to $100,000 in the next 3 months. Is it possible? Yes, but for me, I like to, expect the worst, or I would say prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's just my style. But essentially, I have no doubt in this ecosystem. It's either, wealthy now or wealthy delayed by a few months. So we'll keep going here, guys. Mutual Life Insurance Company, US-based mutual firm with over 5 million clients. Now, there are some key words here, of course. We can see NYDIG. Additionally, the insurance company acquired a $5 million minority equity stake in NYDIG. Remember them with even Chris Larson right here. NYDIG is a leading financial services firm dedicated to Bitcoin. We apply institutional wisdom and ingenuity to help our clients access the unrealized potential of this emerging asset class. Very interesting. We'll keep a close eye on these guys in particular. All right. And for those of you that do not know, this is the New York Digital Investment Group, LLC. Also, so XRP Whale Population hits all-time high ahead of the Spark airdrop occurring. And technically, I know it's not the airdrop, it is the snapshot occurring, but they're kind of using these interchangeably, just like they used to use Ripple and XRP. This is what's crazy though. So as we're sitting in the mid 50 cents range for XRP at time of recording this video, we can see the number of XRP accounts that hold over or more than 10 million tokens, roughly $5.6 million at price time, has hit a new all-time high of 339 accounts. Wow. Absolutely insane. All right. Now, just to read 2 more things, and then I'll call it a day. We have right here Anders L. Love his thoughts on Twitter. Always like to show these and share these. I personally don't believe that the DLT blockchains to be adopted at scale to capture a large share of the global economy will be proof of stake or proof of work. Again, these are consensus mechanisms, how essentially the network comes to agreement on which transactions are valid or not. He goes on to say, and we know XRP is not proof of stake nor proof of work. Proof of work is Bitcoin. Proof of stake is something like, I'd say, Algorand or Cardano. Right here, I believe both of them have too big of underlying issues to capture the tens of trillions of dollars. Time will tell. And if you're a newcomer in this market and you doubt that the cryptocurrency digital asset space will capture tens of trillions of dollars, I would have to tell you to hit the books because it absolutely will. There's no doubt in my mind. Now, the tricky part is determining which assets and protocols will actually capture the most money and add the most value to the global economy in terms of value and, of course, data and information. So we know these narratives. What is it? All boats rise during a rising tide, or a rising tide lifts all boats. Well, I want to find the best boat, the best digital asset, and I want to find the best part of the wave, and I want to time these waves back and forth so I can keep catching them as an investor to maximize and optimize my returns. All right, I'm going to read one more from Anders just because it's so good, and we'll call it a day. Right here. If you build a house on a bad foundation, everything can seem fine until the house collapses under its own weight. And essentially just kind of dissing proof of work, the consensus mechanism, because there are inherent flaws, at least for it to be a global network. And this is something that the founders at Ripple discovered a long time ago, arguably before Ripple, with the XRP ledger with Arthur Brito and all them. But essentially, proof of work does have inherent risks. Now, for that matter, every single consensus mechanism does. So I believe that it will be a combination of assets and protocols and ledgers like networks that have to complement one another. It will not be one to rule everything. What will happen is it's going to be competition, cooperation. It's going to be co-opetition, as I like to say now. So just wanted to share that, guys. At the end of the day, though, I'm looking for strong foundations, and the XRP ledger has one of the strongest foundations in this ecosystem. It is one of the longest existing digital assets, and that is not the only reason I own it. I own it because of the sound tokenomics, the fundamentals, the chart, the people, the partnership, the use case, the network effects. They have so much more going for them, and if a competitor came out of nowhere that could be an XRP killer, well, Ripple, XRP, this whole initiative, and hundreds of millions of dollars already building SDKs and on-ramps and all of this liquidity across this ecosystem are, 5 to 7 years ahead of any competition. So you could say that I'm a little cocky in XRP succeeding at least a little bit. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and share this with anybody that, has doubt within XRP, and then tell them to do their own research, because this video is just to push you to continue doing your own research. Take care, guys.